In a small town nestled between rolling hills and vast fields, there lived a woman named Clara. Clara was known for her unwavering positivity, a trait that seemed to shine brightly like the sun on a clear summer day. She greeted everyone with a warm smile and an infectious laugh, often sharing inspirational quotes and uplifting stories. To the outside world, Clara was the embodiment of happiness, the kind of person who made it seem effortless to see the silver lining in every cloud. Yet beneath this cheerful facade lay a complexity of emotions that she seldom revealed. Clara had always believed that happiness was a choice, a perspective one could cultivate through sheer will. However, as the years passed, she began to feel the weight of her own expectations. The pressure to maintain her sunny disposition became overwhelming, leading her to suppress feelings of sadness, frustration, and even anger. Whenever she felt a twinge of negativity, she would quickly drown it out with positive affirmations or a busy schedule, convincing herself that any deviation from her cheerful persona was a failure. One rainy afternoon, as she sat by her window watching the raindrops race each other down the glass, Clara felt an unfamiliar heaviness in her heart. The world outside mirrored her inner turmoil. The skies were gray, and the air was thick with melancholy. For the first time in a long while, she allowed herself to sit with those feelings, to acknowledge the sadness that had been lurking beneath her cheerful surface. It was a revelation that shook her to her core. She realized that she had been living in a bubble, one that had kept her from experiencing the full spectrum of her emotions. That evening, Clara decided to take a walk, hoping that the fresh air would clear her mind. As she strolled through the town, she noticed the faces of those around her. Some were smiling, some were frowning, and others wore expressions of deep contemplation. It struck her that everyone was navigating their own emotional landscapes, each person carrying their own burdens and joys. She began to see the beauty in this complexity, the authenticity of human experience that transcended the simplistic notion of perpetual happiness. Clara found herself drawn to a small cafe that she had passed many times but had never entered. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee and baked goods wafted through the door, inviting her in. Inside, the atmosphere was warm and cozy, filled with the gentle hum of conversation and the clinking of cups. She took a seat at a corner table, her heart still heavy, but her mind more open than it had been in years. As she sipped her coffee, she overheard snippets of conversations from the tables around her. A young couple was discussing their recent struggles with unemployment, their voices tinged with worry. An elderly man shared stories of loss with a friend, his eyes reflecting a deep sadness that had settled in over the years. Yet, amidst the sorrow, there were also moments of laughter, shared memories, and the comfort of companionship. Clara realized that these moments of vulnerability and connection were what truly made life rich. Inspired by the authenticity she witnessed, Clara began to reflect on her own experiences. She thought of the times she had felt overwhelmed by life's challenges but had brushed them aside, convinced that they would pass if she just kept smiling. She thought of the friendships she had neglected, afraid to show her true self for fear of being judged or seen as weak. In that cafe, surrounded by the rawness of life, Clara understood that embracing a realistic perspective meant acknowledging both the light and the shadows. From that day forward, Clara made a conscious effort to embrace her emotions, all of them. She began journaling, allowing herself to express her fears, doubts, and insecurities without the need for a silver lining. She reached out to friends, sharing her struggles and inviting them to do the same. In these moments of honesty, she discovered a profound sense of connection that had been missing from her life. The conversations became deeper, richer, and more fulfilling as they navigated the complexities of their emotions together. Clara also sought out new experiences that challenged her perspective. She volunteered at a local shelter, where she met individuals from all walks of life, each with their own stories of hardship and triumph. Listening to their journeys opened her eyes to the resilience of the human spirit and the myriad ways people cope with pain and joy. She learned that true happiness is not a constant state, but rather a series of moments that arise amidst the chaos of life. As the seasons changed, so did Clara. She began to find joy in the small things, watching the leaves change color in the fall, savoring the warmth of a cozy blanket on a chilly evening, and laughing with friends over shared memories. She learned to appreciate the beauty of imperfection and the strength that comes from vulnerability. Clara discovered that it was okay to feel sad or anxious, that these emotions were not a sign of weakness but rather a testament to her humanity. In time, Clara's perspective shifted from one of constant positivity to one of authentic living. She embraced the complexities of her emotions, understanding that joy and sorrow could coexist. Happiness became less about chasing an ideal and more about being present in each moment, allowing herself to feel deeply and authentically. She found that in embracing her true self, she could connect with others in a way that was more meaningful and fulfilling. Through her journey, Clara learned that true happiness is not a destination but a way of being. It is found in the acceptance of life's ebbs and flows, in the authenticity of our emotions, and in the connections we forge with others. In a world that often glorifies positivity, she found solace in the understanding that it's okay to be human, to feel, to struggle, and to embrace the full spectrum of life's experiences. And in that acceptance, she discovered a deeper, more profound joy that resonated far beyond the surface of a smile.